Hi everyone! To say I am excited to film this video is an understatement. I am so excited to do my 55 games that I played this year. I didn't specifically try to make it 55, but it's 55, so that works out. I was going to turn off Rusty's retirement when I filmed, but I don't know, I feel like it would be nice to watch it in the background if you're bored of me talking, so I am going to have Rusty's Retirement's Winter Update in the background playing while I do this video, and you can watch Rusty and his pals walk around and do some farming. And look at the deers, they're so cute. Okay, distracted. So this is in no particular order, I just put a bunch of games down. And let me first explain what the tiers are. So I made them all cozy themed. So the first one is Warm Blankets and Cocoa, so like S tier games that I will say is my favorite forever, that I will always remember. So cozying up with a warm blanket and cocoa. A tier is perfect tea temperature, so when you brew that tea just right and it's the perfect temperature, that is exactly what A tier is. So a great game, but obviously not my favorite, but still like highly recommended. Gaming with a cat nearby, I kind of feel bad for putting this in B because I feel like it would be awesome to game with a cat nearby, but it's still like a decent game, maybe like a 4-star game, but just not maybe my cup of tea exactly. C tier is campfire kindling, no flames, so it's just a little bit of a spark, but there's no flames. There's no flames that keeps me going. These games are probably ones that I haven't finished. D is burnt s'mores, still edible, so it's not the worst tier yet, but it's still like a burnt s'more, so you're kind of disappointed, gonna try another one, it's still burnt. And then F is my husband's recommendation, which is smelly wet socks. The opposite of cozy vibes. Socks that are smelly and they're wet, and I kind of feel bad for naming that because I'm basically calling someone's hard work smelly wet socks, but I don't mean it that way. Maybe it's just something that's not specifically for me. Feel free to get mad at me if a game that you really liked is in the D, F tier. I mean, everyone has different preferences, right? So it's not my fault. But yeah, so this is every single game I played from January until now. Today is December 15th, so I might play other games, but I'm really obsessed with Luma Island right now and Infinity Nikki. I don't think I'm gonna be playing other games by the end of the year, but I will add it to next year's list if I do have any. Yeah, let's get started with the very first one. So Pixel Cafe is the first one. I don't know, Pixel Cafe was, so I didn't rate it fully S tier because there were a few things that I didn't like about it. So one of the things was that like she was really depressing. So like a lot of the dialogue was just like the same, her complaining over and over, and I found that that was kind of a downer. And another thing is that like I feel like they could have really enhanced the gameplay, but every single cafe that you unlock, you kind of do the same thing. It's always brewing coffee, it's always making cakes, so I feel like they could have made that better. So I am going to put that, I'm between B and A. But I was really obsessed with it and I did 100% it. I'm gonna do B for now. Cat Quest, so Cat Quest 1 and 2 I replayed this year because Cat Quest 3 was coming out and I was really excited, even though I haven't even gotten to Cat Quest 3 yet. But this is Cat Quest 2, which is one of my favorites. It's perfect for multiplayer. My husband likes games a little bit tough, but it's actually like really cute and it's actually really tough too. So there's some bosses that can do. So it's really great to play as multiplayer. And you know, all of the cat puns, all of ARPG is my favorite genre, and Cat Quest is, yeah, it's perfect. So definitely S tier. Well, I'll just put the other Cat Quest in S tier. This one is only single player, but also like a great game. Detective Pikachu, this one there is the DS one. I really liked it. It was kind of like, I did stop halfway, go back to playing it. The graphics aren't like what it is now with the Nintendo Switch and stuff because it is a DS game, but I still really enjoyed it. I know some people really didn't like Detective Pikachu because it's kind of for kids, but if you enjoy it in the sense that you can see Pokemon just like going around and having fun and doing Pokemon things and just enjoy the plot in B. The next game is Echoes of Wisdom. I had a whole rant issue with this game. They originally promised that they were going to make it combat free, and then they made it so that you could turn into Link in the game. I was really confused about, because it was like, oh, if you play as Link, you can jump better and jump higher and run faster, and I didn't like that. I liked about Zelda, and I wanted it to be about Zelda and not that you could turn into Link. But I will admit and say that it is one of my favorite games this year. It's such a good game. The art style is beautiful. I love the play look of it. I love the chibi art style in general. I think it's really cute. It's hard for me to put it in such a high tier because of that one thing that really bothered me. But it's such an amazing game. There's not a lot of games out there where you can solve in 300 different ways and solve it in a way than what they originally planned, so that you're kind of messing with the game. I liked doing that all the time. There was one hack where you could just put beds down during a boss battle and then sleep in the bed and then heal, and then you could just keep doing that during the boss battle. It's just so much fun. You can jump on cactuses and stuff that you couldn't do in normal games, and the only ever time that I've experienced this is Breath of the Wild, which is why it's such a huge game. So Echoes of Wisdom, I have to give it an S tier rank. It's so good. I didn't actually finish it. I'm so close to finishing, but I will for sure finish it. And let's do more Rusty, planting some onion seeds. And then Venba is... I feel like I'm putting so many S tiers. I am an overall positive person, I feel. Venba was such a beautiful game. I feel like a lot of people need to play it. It's only a few hours long. It's a plot, story-focused game. But there's also kind of... not difficult, but kind of puzzly cooking tasks, which is really fun. And there's actually recipes you can find. It's about an Indian family that immigrated to Canada, and about the immigrant child growing up and experiencing the difference between cultures. It is so beautiful, and I am an immigrant in Canada too. I lived in the same area as they did, so it's really cool and really relatable to me, and it's a beautiful story, and also the cooking stuff is really fun, so I highly recommend it. S tier for sure. The next is the first mobile game. There is a couple of mobile games. I said before, because I'm taking care of a baby this year, my son was born in January, so I played a lot of mobile games because it's easy to hold him and also play a mobile game at the same time. But one of my top videos is mobile game recommendations, so I feel the cozy gaming mobile game industry isn't really talked about that much, and it definitely should, because there's a lot of good mobile games that is cozy based. So my first one is Cozy Grove Camp Spirit. This one is the Netflix game, so it's the sequel to Cozy Grove. You play a little bit every single day. It has some beautiful plots as well. It is based on bears that are spirits, and every single day you get to know them better and you help them, and then they tell you more about their lives. It is kind of an open world, but it's small, and you just do little tasks for the bears every day. There's lots of fishing, there's a lot of decorations, you can change your outfits. So my issue with Cozy Grove Camp Spirit is that the quests are kind of repetitive sometimes, and it's kind of sad that you only get to play 30 minutes every day. It's nice because you can play it for I think it's more than a years of content, but it is kind of repetitive. Sometimes you do a lot of the same quests, so if you don't like that and you don't like fetch quests, it's not really your thing. But this is my specific tier list, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a B, and then I'm gonna increase Pixel Cafe and then put Cat Quest 1 down. Okay, next one is my first bad one. It's called Pan Pan. It's one of the first games that ever came out with the Nintendo Switch. It is a puzzle only game, but the problem with the puzzles is that it was really complicated. You could only go in a specific order of the map, except you can go from one point of the map to the other, so you basically have to go around the map so many times just to see what you're supposed to do next. So I literally just followed a YouTube tutorial just so I could complete the game, and I really didn't like it. I feel like a lot of people did like it. It has pretty positive reviews, so maybe I'm just not that smart. But it was just not for me. So it's gonna be the first F tier. The next is Moonstone Island. To be honest, I didn't play that much of it because it was kind of overwhelming for me. Like, I knew it was going to be a game that I really liked. It has all of the elements that I like. It has like the card-based battling, it has like the creature collecting, it has the farming, it has like romance and stuff like that. It's just like there's a lot, so I just had to pause and like know that I would go back into it. So I feel like it's hard for me to give it a proper rating since I haven't played the whole game, but I feel like it would definitely be like A tier or even S tier when I properly play. Un Pas Fragile is a game made by French developers. It is super cute. I think it's only like 15 minutes long. I played it twice, so 30 minutes. It is very simple. It is about a frog that wants to be a ballerina, and then you just kind of guide her along. It has a beautiful story, but I don't think I can ever give a game that's pretty short that high of a rating, because it's pretty short. Let's say B tier. The next game is very similar to Un Pas Fragile. I think I just wanted to do like very short games during that period of time. So Still Sand, it was basically a game that was similar in the sense that it was just a story, but I didn't like it. It was trying to be too edgy. It was black and white. It was just another very similar to Pixel Cafe, where it was just a girl being like really depressed the whole time and complaining about her life, and like you just have to like help her smoke and stuff like that, and it just wasn't for me. I just wanted to finish it, really. The next game is Chillquarium. I played this because I played Rusty's Retirement. I really loved it. So Chillquarium is another idle game where you're just raising fish. So I didn't really like that you could just cheat the game by having your mouse button pressed down. I literally had a piece of rock weighing down my mouse so I could feed the fish constantly. I think I really like that it's like you open the packs kind of like Pokemon cards. That was really cool, and like a different concept. I think there's a bird one coming out soon, and I'm definitely going to play that. It's not an S tier game, but I think it's pretty unique in its idea, and a lot of people are into it. So I will put Chillquarium in B. The next game is Enshrouded. I would say this is the only like non-cozy game in this list. It's a game that I play with my husband. We have been really into like open world survival craft because I can do stuff like decorating the house, and he can just like go on adventures, so I can like farm and stuff, do like foraging, and then he can like go and do whatever he wants. And Enshrouded was kind of stressful for me because you can die really easily. Like there's some parts where you can just like die over and over again, and there were parts where I got so bored I was like using my phone while waiting for him to revive me. So I feel like it was a bit too hard, but I feel like that's more of a me issue than like the game's issue. It's supposed to be a hard game. The whole point of Enshrouded is that like as you're exploring, there are places that have like this fog that could kill you, so you would have to go outside of the fog, or you would have to drink potions to save yourself in the fog. But it was fun building the house. It had a fun storyline, but we literally stopped playing because it was like too hard for me. So yeah, C tier, a game that I can't go back into. Next game was Postmouse. So this was made by a student team for their class project, and it got really big. It is so beautiful, but the problem with it for me was that it's first person, and it made me so dizzy that I couldn't even play it. So what did I ended up doing? Because I really wanted to play it. It's so beautiful. You're a mouse and you see like things from a giant perspective, which was really cool. So I literally got my husband to play it, and I sat next to him, and I just occasionally looked at the screen. But that still counts because it was on my account. So I'll probably give it a B, because it was a fun game, but I literally couldn't play it because I was so dizzy. Okay, the next game is called Fishy. It's from Sock Pop. There are people who make like really short games, and I think they release one game every single week, just like a random game. And I started playing Fishy because I played Chillquarium and I really liked it, and I was like, oh, I need more fish games. So Fishy was fun. You're just a fish and you eat different food and other fish, and you become a bigger fish. So my issue with this game was it was really difficult. Like, you would think that it wasn't, but then there's this part where you like go down, and then there's these squids that like attack you, and then they suck your energy out, so you just keep becoming a smaller fish until you eventually die. So it was like really, really nerve-wracking, and it gave me a lot of anxiety. I also couldn't 100% it because there's this one quest that's vegetarian, so you couldn't eat anything except for like the little bits on the ground, and I don't like games where it's like almost impossible to get 100% achievements, so that really bothered me. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. TikTok Isle was, I had the same issue with TikTok Isle as Pen Pen. It was not intuitive what you were supposed to do. I liked the plot, I think the characters were really funny, and you go in between like 2 different time periods, so you see like little kids grow up and then you change their past and then it changes their future. So I thought the idea was really nice, but it just wasn't executed well. It was another one where I just had to watch someone play it and then play it myself, which I feel like games shouldn't be like that. It should be intuitive. A lot of point and click games have this problem. It's like the solutions just don't make sense, so you kind of just have to keep button smashing until you figure it out, which is not good. So I'm not gonna put it in F because I really like the characters in the game, so I'm gonna put it in D. The Shape of Things was a puzzle-only game. It was really fun, but you basically rotate these puzzle pieces, and as they rotate, they click into place. It was really, really satisfying. I think the point of the game is for it to be satisfying. It was something that worked, like a puzzle that worked with my mind, so I was really, really good at it. So I finished it, like, to completion. I thought it was, like, really good. Not S tier because, like, it's just a simple puzzle game, but it was really satisfying, so I liked it. Cats Organized Neatly is the example of a puzzle game that doesn't work with my mind. So it's like kind of Tetris, you're just putting cats in different shapes. It was really simple. It just didn't work with my head, so I could play the beginning games and then it just kept becoming more and more complicated. So I just couldn't play it again. I just had to Google the answers. I feel like this whole video is just me Googling answers, but I did finish the game, but I had to get a lot of help to do it. I think for other people it could be an A tier game, but for me it just didn't make sense. So C tier. I really like that the cats made noises and they also had like different descriptions about who they were and stuff. That was really cool. I'm giving them credit for that and points for that. The next game is Froggy's Battle. It's a roguelite, but it's super, super cute. And the cool part is, like, it's very different from other roguelites. So you're a frog, and you're on a skateboard, and the whole game is in a circle, like a loop. So you have to, like, basically move the frog left and right and jump to fight monsters. It's really satisfying. The problem is it gets really, really difficult. So my husband plays, like, really intense games, and even he found it, like, really difficult to play. Like, he couldn't finish like the hardest level, so it's really difficult. And another issue with it was like the bosses were just like the same thing copied and pasted, so one of the bosses was just like 2 of the same bosses from before. I feel like it would have been easy for them to just create a different boss to make it more things you could fight. So that was my issue with it, but I thought it was like a pretty clever idea, so I'll put it in B tier. Oh my god, I was so busy in the video that I forgot to plant seeds for Rusty. What is he going to do? Next game is Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. I didn't want to get the game because I was like, I'm not a student. I don't really have anything that I do that needs something in the background, but I also write a lot, like I'm a writer. So that was really, really good with writing, and also it was so much fun. Like, you get to decorate every single part of the room, you get to play lo-fi music. It actually got me really into lo-fi music. Like, I didn't know what lo-fi music was until I played the game, and I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, chill beats, but it also has some sort of tempo. It was so, so nice, and I love decorating. I love decorating my character. I loved the little, like, creatures that have, like, a story that go along with the game. It's not a game per se, but it's a decorating game, I guess. I really liked it. I think it's such a good idea. So S tier. Also, they had a Halloween update, and they also just did a Christmas update, which I still haven't played yet. And the Halloween update was so pretty. S tier for sure. So the next game is Spells and Secrets. This is the first game I ever returned on Steam, so that's saying something. It's weird because I feel like it has kind of positive reviews, but so I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I have a Harry Potter tattoo this is the symbol that shows up on top of every single page of the Harry Potter books. So I'm a diehard fan. On the back of the shelves there are also all Harry Potter stuff. So it's obviously a copy of Harry Potter. It's students in a magic school, but it's a roguelite, and it's a multiplayer roguelite. So again, played it with my husband, and he was being really nice. He really didn't like it, but he didn't say anything. And then I think we were like 1 hour into it, and I was like, we can't keep doing this. I don't want to play this anymore. It was just really hard to control. It was the same thing over and over. It was just like, the best description of it is like, it was janky, and I really didn't like it. So yeah, F tier. I feel so bad. Okay, next one is Capybara Spa. I like games that are repetitive. I know some people don't. Like Pixel Cafe was really repetitive, and I really liked it. So Capybara Spa is basically like a cozy game in itself. It is very repetitive. There's no like repercussions. You basically just keep moving forward. The capybaras are fine if you take as long as you want. You decorate your Capybara Spa, you make it look pretty. That's it. You do different things for capybaras. I am in love with capybaras, and I got to see them for the first time ever when I went on vacation, and I was screaming. I was screaming so much that the guy who was working inside the capybara exhibit actually started feeding the baby capybaras because he saw how excited I was. So it was a great game. I will put it in... I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, so I feel like it deserves an A tier. So next game is Gortlets. This is another game that I wasn't originally going to get, but people were so hyped about it that I got it anyways. I don't like games that don't have a purpose. The only purpose in Gortlets is that you can unlock like new stuff the more your Gortlets interacts with your world. I really liked it because the Gortlets are super cute. They go around and they interact, like I said, with the world. They like, you know, go on picnics, they trim the hedges, they just like walk around, and it's just up to your imagination what you want to do. It's also like super cheap for what it is, so I feel like it's super worth it. Just like for a few hours of creating a little world for your Gortlets, it's worth it. Oh, also it has Twitch integration, which is really cool. Oh, I think I'm gonna put it in B though, because there were some glitches that really bothered me. There was a period of time where the Gortlets what they did didn't count, and the more Gortlets you added, like the more glitchy the game would be, and you couldn't delete them, so you were just like infinitely, the game would just keep getting worse and worse. The next game is Coffee Caravan. It is the most recent game that I played. I think it was super cute. The gameplay was really fun. It was addictive. It was just like a little bit weird, the stuff that they did. So it was also kind of a roguelite. So there was a mode where if the customer waited too long, you would immediately have to start over like the whole thing. And then there was another mode where that wouldn't happen and you could just keep playing. So it was either like the most extreme, most difficult, or the most easy. And like I couldn't decide between both because it was really frustrating when you did lose one and all of your progress was gone. So that was weird. They just did an ice cream update, and also I love that there was bubble tea. And I think it was the most like, it was the best at representing how you actually make tea, coffee, and ice cream in real life. So like the making the bubble tea process, the making the coffee process, all of it was actually like very representative of what happens in real life. And since I'm a huge like bubble tea lover, and there was bubble tea, and every single recipe was really cute, like that was what I liked about it. So it's hard to decide because there were some like really frustrating parts about it. It's just unbalanced is the best way to explain it. I just feel like they just need to balance it better because the game itself is fun. I want to put it in C. It's like between B and C. Can I add a different category? Okay, I'm gonna put it in B. Okay, the next game is Fresh Start. I think I already reviewed it before, but I will explain now. Fresh Start is another just like super satisfying cozy game. You go into a world, a nature, and you have to clean up the garbage with your... It's a first-person game, but it didn't make me dizzy. You just have to clean up nature. There's like deers and different animals, and you feel good because you're also like cleaning the environment. There were some issues with the game in that they made this game after promising a lot of things with their other game, which is called No Place Like Home. So they kind of just copied everything for No Place Like Home, abandoned the first game, and then made this game. I feel like that shouldn't impact my decision though. It was really satisfying. There were some glitches. I like that there was like 100% meter for cleaning stuff up. Yeah, let's do B tier. The next game is Mika and the Witch's Mountain. This was a direct copy of Cookie's Delivery Service. It is by Chibig, which made Summer and Mara, and they have kind of a problematic past in which they promise things on their Kickstarter and then they don't follow it, and then they just make a new game and then completely forget their old game. I thought that, so My Cousin and the Witch's Mountain got a lot of pledges because it looked really, really cute, and it's just like Kiki's Delivery Service. The biggest problem with me and a lot of people is that it's really, really hard to control the broom, which is part of the gameplay, but it makes it not satisfying because you keep bumping into stuff, and the more you bump into stuff, like, the worse your delivery points get. So it was really frustrating for me, and I actually, like, rage quit. I am going to go back to it one day, but I'm gonna put it in, not F, D tier. It is really cute. I really like the characters and stuff, so I feel like it deserves at least a D tier. Eastward, I think a lot of people know about it. I played it because I wanted to play it for a while, and then the DLC came out, and I was like, oh, I really have to play it now. I stopped at the beginning because it was another that was like really overwhelming for me, and I was like, I need to sit down and have proper time to play this game, just like Moonstone Island. So I know it's going to be a really good game, but I didn't play enough of it to like really know. It is the perfect balance of so many different things. The mini games. I love like the interaction between the characters. I love the world, like the underworld they created. So like yeah, and it's also, like, the puzzling is also really satisfying, doesn't make you angry. The combat is good too. The next game is Mime. This was such an adorable game. I love cottagecore aesthetic. I love mushrooms. I just in my playthrough Luma out over the mushrooms that you could collect. So Meltime is super cute. It's another one where you're like a small character in a giant world and you get to like explore that way. It's also another one I had to make my husband play for me because I am really, really bad platforming, and it was a little bit too hard for me. So he played it for me, but I was like freaking out about how cute it was. My biggest issue with this game is that like you can accidentally finish the game without needing to, which is like really weird. So it's so cute though. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's exactly what it's supposed to be, you know? Okay, the next game is Detective Pikachu. I already talked about how much I liked the DS one. I played the DS one because I played this one. I really liked the graphics. I thought it was adorable. Some people really didn't like it. I don't think it's worth a full price game. Like, it really isn't, because it's so short. It is mainly for kids, like the puzzles are really simple, but like I said, I really like the way that the Pokemons interact with each other. You never get to see them in a video game just like doing random things like walking around and like, you know, being part of life and working jobs and things like that. And then yeah, it was really fun. I would even play it again, honestly. So would it be crazy if I put it in S tier? I'm gonna put it in the A tier because I feel like that's unfair for the other S tiers because it was as good as it was supposed to be. Okay. The next game was Animal Crossing, the DLC, so Happy Home Paradise. I restarted my Animal Crossing farm this year. I listened to the podcast by Nintendo and Peyton's Corner and Ten Talk, and they were talking about Animal Crossing, and I just had like, I just really wanted to play Animal Crossing. So I got it. It's like, oh, there's the DLC, maybe I should get it. I almost didn't get it because I was like, it's kind of expensive and I don't know if I'll actually play it. So I looked at some reviews and people were really, really into it. They said it was worth it, so I got it, and I definitely think it's so worth it. It was so fun. You get to like decorate houses and there's no repercussions. You decorate as many as you want, and there are so you can do with the houses, and you also get to make like cafes, you get pools and restaurants and things like that, and it was just really fun. I could spend all day just decorating house after house after house, and they kept adding like new features to it, like, you know, if you rub furnitures it can make it shiny. it was a work of art, so S tier for sure. And the next one is Pretty Cool. This one is the only one that wasn't on Steam. It's called, it's from a website called Itch.io, where like little creators make their games, and most of the time it's for free or like by donation. So Pretty Cool was pretty simple. You're a person that's feeding pigeons, and there are more and more pigeons the more you feed them, and they kind of grow into your own little army, and it's really satisfying and it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I will put it in A tier. It was simple, but it was good. The next is another mobile game. This one is Elder Scrolls Castles. So basically it's set in like the Elder Scrolls world, where it's like castles, and you are the ruler, and you have to control like the different parts of the castles, where they're placed, and you also like your people out in the army to fight like against ghosts and ghouls and stuff like that, and goblins and orcs. Decorate your castle. The best part was that you could like breed the people, and then you could make like little kids, and they're like little orc kids or little eggs babies that are so cute. So that was fun. I couldn't get into it because I just don't like that much strategy. I think there was too much strategy involved, and it just became boring for me, so I quit the game. I'll put it in because I feel like it was just no flames for me. Campfire kindling, no flames. This Minami Lane. This was fun. It was a really short game. Basically, there's a whole street, and you decide what goes on in the street. You decide if they have like bubble tea, how much boba, how sweet it is, and that's like the puzzle element. You have to decide on which population in the street will enjoy each type of food. So basically you're like a manager of a whole, like a lane of eating and restaurants and stuff like that. So that was fun. It was full, but it was exactly what it promised to be, so I had a lot of fun with it. I kind of wish it was longer, but I think they will add more stuff in the future, so I am going to put it in A tier. The next game is I'm going to do all three of them at once. So there's Cats and Soup Fluffy Town, Cats and Soup, and Cats and Soup Magic Recipe. They're all kind of the same game. It's cats making soup. So the basic game, the one that a lot of people have played, it is on Netflix right now with no microtransactions, so you can play it for free. It was really... I played it before and stopped playing it, and then I saw how much you can like expand more stuff in the future, like the more you play. It's a pretty basic game. You can only play for like a few seconds and then come back and check how well your cats are doing. So I will put it in B tier. Fluffy Town is the one that just came out. It was on beta for a while. It's the same thing as Cats and Soup, but more place farmland. You can like mine for ores. So it's like a more expansive one, and it's also like more of an open world instead of just little blocks you can put it on. I didn't like it. I don't know. It's overwhelming for me. The same way that Elder Scrolls Castles was, so I'm gonna put it in the same category. I just quit it because it just wasn't for me. The most recent one is called Magic Recipe. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I feel like more people need to play it. So cute. It's a merge game, which is satisfying in itself, and I think there is a lot of stuff for it yet, because I feel like I'm already reaching like the maximum amount of stuff. But it is their new game, so I feel like they're going to be adding more. But it's a very beautiful merge game, and it's little cats that you can put outfits for and have them run around and fly around on their brooms. It's really, really nice. Am I biased because I'm currently playing it on my phone? No, I think it's the perfect tea temperature for me. There's also a lot of mini games, which is fun. Infinity Nikki is the current craze in the cozy gaming community. It is super, super fun. It is an open world game, the first time of the Nikki franchise. You get to dress up your character. It's basically Palia, but open world. There's farming, fishing, and you change your outfit each time you do anything. Every time you jump, it changes your outfit. Some people didn't like that. I think it's really cool. So Infinity Nikki, I currently love it. I think they did amazing. I can't believe it came out so quickly. Like, they must have so many people working for their company. The only part that people don't like is the microtransactions and how like gacha games are kind of targeting people who have like gambling addictions and stuff like that, because you keep rolling, you don't know whether or not you're going to get the things that you're rolling for. But for me, I fall for that stuff a lot, and I haven't had like a single urge to spend money in this game, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. I haven't spent anything yet, and I don't really feel like I will be, so the dresses are really cute, and they already give you so many cute dresses, so I feel like I don't need anything more. This game is so good, and it's free, so you might as well try it out. But just, you know, be wary that they are trying to get you with the microtransactions. The next game is Insoy. I feel like it doesn't really count because I just did the character creation, but it is coming out next year. It is basically Sims, but much prettier. It is finally a Sims competition, and I'm very excited about it. I'm gonna put it in S tier for now, but it is... take it with a grain of salt because I haven't actually played the game. I just did the character creation, and it's so beautiful. I made a character that basically looks exactly like me. I will insert it here. You will see. It looks exactly like me, and that's crazy. Like, compared to Sims. The next game I feel like doesn't need an introduction or a reason why, but it's Stardew Valley. I played Stardew Valley for the first time this year, even though I'm a cozy gaming creator and someone who loves cozy games, because I have been postponing it because I'm a die-hard Harvest Moon fan. I played it on the DS, I played it on the Wii, and it really bothers me when people say that a game is like Stardew Valley when Stardew Valley copied Harvest Moon in the first place. So I haven't been playing it, but my husband finally convinced me to play it, so I did play it, and yeah, it's really good. It's Harvest Moon but better. He Conserved Ape enhanced so many things. The plot is amazing, the combat is so good, it is so good with multiplayer, it is something that you can play forever, and I think he just got complete achievements on his own game himself, so it's hard, and there's a reason why people really like it. I feel like it takes a lot to get into, and the issue with it primarily is that you actually have to Google a lot of things to figure things out. Like, a lot of it isn't explained, so I feel like it's hard to get into, but when you get into it, you're like, wow, this is really good. So it would be so rude if I didn't put this in S tier. The next game is Luma Island. I just published a video of like me and my husband playing it. It is so fun. I love the graphics. I think it's nice that there's no health bar. I like that there's a job system. I'm hoping for more decorations. I'm hoping for house enhancements. I'm hoping for like being able to change your outfit and stuff like that. I feel like there's a really good base game that they can enhance a lot. I don't really know what's going to happen next, but we just unlocked the first big area, so I am excited to see what happens. I really like the egg system where you're hatching animals. Like, that's really cool. So I don't know if it's S tier yet, but it's definitely a really good game. And he keeps asking me when we're gonna play it next, so I feel like my husband really likes it too. The next game, I mean, I'm playing it right now. I thought I was done playing it. I got 100% achievement on it, and then the dev was like, you know what, I'm gonna give you guys a winter update because people were so into this game. There's so many games being made just like Rusty's Retirement because it was so successful. It is so good to play in the background. I play it like, I just have my PC on and then I leave it and then just planned stuff afterwards. And look at the deer. There's like bees, there's different animals, there's so much you can do. It is so cute. And I feel like more games need to be idle. It's S tier. It's S tier. Next game is Power World. Played this in the beginning of the year. I also 100% it, but there's been updates so far, so I'm not 100% anymore. It is another open world survival craft, except this time with Pokemon, and the Pokemons can battle and use guns and stuff. I didn't like the guns part because I've never really liked guns in video games. I like the fantasy vibes more and medieval vibes, but this was another one I played with the husband. It's really cool how you can play like basically Pokemon but multiplayer in an open world. This is what Pokemon should look like. This is definitely showing off to Game Freak that, you know what, you guys need to do better. So it gets points for that. It had a lot of glitches, but it's also in early access, so like that's understandable. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I'm going back to it for sure. It was so much fun. We played endless hours of it while the baby was sleeping after he was born. Palia is another open world game, another like game I played with the husband. I feel like I've talked about him too much. Palia is an open world game. It's basically like Stardew Valley but an open world. I didn't think I would like the mahjong so much. I thought that was so cool. Like, I went to this underground place and saw a bunch of people there and they're just playing hot pot mahjong, this random like mini game in the game, and I just thought this was so funny. The beginning of the game was really addicting because there were a lot of quests and I'm a huge quester, but it kind of slowed down. The more I played it, the more it slowed down, so the more I was like, oh, I don't really feel like playing anymore, because it was kind of like you just had to collect different things. I am going to go back to it. I already bought an outfit, so I have to go back to it, but it's a really good game, and I like that there's no like pay to win aspects. You're just paying to buy cute outfits and different things, so it's kind of like you're just supporting the developers. As an first ever like cozy gaming MMO, I think they did a really good job. Okay, the next game is Minabo. I think a lot of people only know about this game because Peyton's Corner featured it on her channel. Basically, you're a little turnip, you sprout from the ground, and then you walk through life. I thought there was going to be more to the game, but you basically just have 3 interactions, like physical interaction with someone, talking to them, and then I forgot what the 3 were, but you just like interacting with other people, and then you just walk through life with your family members, or you get to know strangers, you could marry them, and you walk through life as a turnip. I feel like it's way too basic, and also it got really hard. Like, I'm on level 4 and it's almost impossible to beat, so I think that's an issue, but I again give it points for creativity. Like, a turnip walking through life, like who would ever come up with this? So I'm between B and C. Let's do B. I don't feel like it deserves no flames. And I am going to go back to it. Stitch, I completed the game, and then when you complete the game, you can like reset it and still keep your points. So I reset the whole game. That just shows how much I like it. I think it is the perfect game to do when you're doing something else, like watching TV, playing D&D. I play Stitch while I play D&D. It is so good for like exercising the 2 parts of your mind. One of those puzzle games that just like work for my mind. I can play it so quickly. And also there's like weekly things, like weekly events where you're building like a giant puzzle, and then they tell you what it's for. Like, they tell you about different festivals around the world, and I think that's so cool that they keep adding on to it. And I bought like the add-on DLCs. It is an awesome game. I think it's gonna be like my favorite puzzle game of all time. It just works really well for me. So Pizza Possum was so satisfying. It is, you just like run around as 2 players or 1 player, and you're just eating a bunch of food, and the little dog cops might go after you, and it's really fun. It's much easier with 2 players. You can even play as 2 players and like by yourself, and because as soon as you get caught, the other one can just come and help you and you don't have to restart. It's kind of a simple game, but I think it's worth it for the price, or if you can buy it on sale. But I think it is such a good game that for like anyone to play, because there's just like the control keys, like the 4 keys for moving your character around, and also the key to use like special items, and that's it. But it's so fun, and there's so much strategy involved, and it's so good. So another S tier. The next one is Rolling Hills. You're basically a sushi robot. You're making sushi. The problem with this game was that it was way too simple. Like, you're not actually making the sushi, you're just pressing a button and then you're serving the sushi to people. I like that they added a lot of different elements to the game, like there's plot involved and a lot of characters that you can get to know, and there's also unlocking like special events and stuff like that. So there's a lot involved, and oh, the decorating was really fun. I had so much fun decorating, but it was really like the base game itself was really boring because you're just picking up sushi, giving it to people. But again, I said I really like repetitive gameplay because it's satisfying for me, and I like having a game that I can play while watching TV. So I appreciate what the devs have done to make it a lot of different concepts at once. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in B tier. But I played this game also to completion. I thought it was really fun, and I could probably keep playing. I got to level, I think it's level 50, like the maximum level. There's only a few games left. Okay. Sprout Valley was really fun. There were problems with Sprout Valley in that I think it copied a lot of textures, and items in the game from another game, and people didn't like that, but I think they were like free to get, so it's fine. Sprout Valley is like only a few dollars, and it's like the most basic farming sim you can think of. Like, you're a little cat and you're just farming. There's no other characters involved except for the one person that you buy the land from, and you can go to different islands. It's very, very basic, but I really liked it as like just a simple farming game. So, but I feel like if you're getting into it, you need to understand that it's a simple farming game, and that's it. I feel like I'll put it in B tier because gaming with cat nearby, and there's a cat in the game. You are a cat. The next game is the Pokemon trading card game. This is another phone game. People are so obsessed with it, and I have to say it is probably my longest played game, maybe other than Rusty's retirement, of like this year. I cannot stop playing it. I love all of the events, like the battling events, the card events. It really makes you want to keep going back, and like swiping open that card every single time is so satisfying. I know so many people who play it, and it's so fun battling with them. I got so into it, and I think I'm really good at it now. And it's so satisfying when you add that Giovanni, you get that +10, and then you kill their Pokemon, or I mean, I guess make them faint, and it's so good. And the cards are so beautiful and nice to collect. So even if you don't want to battle and you just want to be a collector, it is so fun to have on your phone. You can also like get cards from your friends. They're going to be adding trading next year, so it's so good. The next game was weird because I don't use TikTok, I just use it to post my content, but I saw an ad for this game. It's called Satisdom, and it's on like Android and iOS. Basically, it's just a bunch of levels, like every single level is different, and you just do satisfying things, like, I don't know, popping bubbles, or like organizing a bookshelf so that all the books are straight, stuff like that. So I thought that it was really cool how every single level was different. I paid a few dollars for the game to be completely ads free, and it's been great. I think if you do pay that few dollars, it's totally worth it. And I played it a lot on the flight because it's a game that you can play without having internet, which is hard to find in mobile games these days. So yeah, I recommend it. Satisdom. I will put it in B tier. The next game is No Place Like Home. I talked about how they gave up on this game and then did Fresh Start, and how like people weren't happy with that because they promised a lot of things. No Place Like Home, I think they needed to advertise it better because they made it seem like it was a farming sim, but it's not really. You kind of just, you're a girl and you're going back to Earth before you go to Mars to find your grandpa. You find grandpa completely like covered in heaps of garbage, like his home, and he's missing, so you have to go around Earth in the aftermath of the apocalypse to try to find your grandpa. So you're going around with a vacuum and you're just vacuuming like mountains and mountains and mountains of garbage. There are talking chickens. It was really funny. It was really satisfying. But like I said over and over again in this video, I like repetitive gameplay, and being able to vacuum like an entire world, top tier gaming for me. So again, problems with the devs with giving up on the game. There were like a lot of glitches. It was some jankiness, but I'm okay with jankiness as long as the gameplay is fun. So yeah, B tier. And I'm gonna put it on beside Fresh Start because same developers. Oh my god, only 3 games left. Oh, these 3 are all mobile games. So the next game is called Fairy Village. It is a Hyperbeard game, and they kind of make very similar games. They're all cozy and they're all very cute, but they all have a lot of ads. The ads keep popping up. They want you to pay for the game. The ads like fly across the screen. It's honestly super annoying. I hated that, but it was really cute. It was like fairy cottagecore vibes. You can decorate the characters, you can decorate your world. It is absolutely adorable. It's just really annoying how many ads there were. So I feel bad putting it as no flames because there were flames, but the ads. The next game is Cat Town. It's kind of really similar to Fairy Village. Like, it's kind of an idle game, and you're helping the cats do different things, like open restaurants and like do the farming. The farming equals to cooking, the cooking equals to opening restaurants, stuff like that. I finished the game. It was really short, I feel, and also it just is a very simple idle game with lots of ads, so I'm going to put it in. Oh, it was cute though, but I think I'll put it in D tier. The final game is called Welcome to My Home. It is one of the cutest games I have ever seen. It is adorable. It is a farming sim. I played so much of it every single day. It was like a huge thing in the cozy gaming community, especially the one on Facebook that has like 200,000 followers. Everyone was playing it. It is an adorable game. It's kind of similar to the Animal Crossing mobile game. It's a farming sim, but cozy. There's a lot of cooking, a lot of crafting involved, putting items together, but there was a lot of like, it would tell you exactly what you needed, and it was really intuitive, and I think they created a really beautiful game. I also all like hours of it, so welcome to my home. Want one mobile game to play, I highly recommend that. And also Cozy Grove if you have Netflix. So, A tier. So let's finish planting some plants for Rusty, and let's see what upgrades we can get. Well, God, look at how much money I made while I was talking. Thank you for watching as always, and I hope you have a great day and a great year. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Bye!